Hello people, thanks for joining me for another beer review. It's Beer Monster O'Clock. And for this one I'll be reviewing a craft lager, so to speak, by the Two Tribes Brewery, who are based in King's Cross in London, I believe. And it's a classic Helles Premium Lager. There's a little look at your can. Got some dice and that on there. Helles lagers, of course, tend to be more malty and sweet, as opposed to, say, like a Pilsner, for example, which would be more hoppy and bitter. So yeah, it's probably not my preferred style. I'm more of a Pilsner man. But yeah, I'm quite happy to give it a go, you know, and it's also gifted to me very kindly by the in-laws for Christmas. They got me you might have seen this on the channel already, my glass there with me the Beer Monster, Adam the Beer Monster engraved on it, and they bought me a 4-pack of these. And obviously I didn't ask them how much it was, that'd be rude, but for review purposes I did look up. For example, one place you could buy it from is Ocado, or what's that online wine shop, something wines, I can't remember, but in both places it was £7.25 for 4 cans, just to give you a rough idea. So it's quite expensive for a little can of lager. So yeah, is it going to be any good? Is it going to be worth that money? I think the people that brew this, the Two Tribes, they have something to do with the music industry and that as well, but they also brew beer. I'm not too sure, you'll have to look it up for more information. Anyway, let's crack her open and see what she's all about. It's 4% ABV, so it's not the strongest. Definitely more of a session sort of Helles, isn't it? I do prefer my lagers a little bit stronger, but strong lagers ain't for everyone, are they? Especially if you don't want to get too smashed. Well, I mean, what does that work out a pint now? Quite expensive. It's got to be about £3 a pint now, isn't it? For a canned beer. I'm going to be using 2 cans just so I can get a full pint, you know. Be rude not to, wouldn't it? Alright, beer in the glass. It's definitely, you can tell it's a craft lager. It's very hazy. There we go. You can tell it's quite a hazy sort of unfiltered look to it. Really piercingly white head, like bubble bath sort of bubbles. Quite large bubbles in this actually, which is quite concerning. Being as they say, the smaller the bubble, the better the quality. Yeah, it does look very, very much like a craft lager, and it is a craft lager. Let's get the nose in there and check out the aroma of Two Tribes Classic Premium Lager. Yeah, bit of stone fruit, touch of spice. It definitely has that craft lager kind of aroma to it, where for me, I don't particularly like craft lagers, not a lot of them, because it's a case of if it's not broke, don't fix it. You know, do you really need a craft lager when there's German lagers out there and Czech lagers and stuff like that? Do you really need a craft lager? Now, if you want an unfiltered lager, you can even buy an unfiltered lager, but do you need a craft lager? It's just brewed in small batches, isn't it? You know, more time and effort sort of taken on the beer and stuff, but many of the times I find them just a bit unnecessary with like the added fruits and stuff like that, and I've got a feeling this one may go the same way by the aroma, but hopefully I'm wrong. Even that's a gift. I have to be honest, if I don't like it and I think it's shit, I'm going to say it's shit, otherwise what's the point of reviewing it? Right, anybody? Anyway, cheers everybody. Bosh, let's chuck it down the neck and see if I think it's worth a buy. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's straight away. I don't think it's worth the money, because that's not cheap, is it? It reminds me a little bit like, say, like your Brewdog Lost is your sort of crafty version of a Pilsner, where you got sort of a few extra fruity notes, floral notes, and stuff like that in there. This is kind of like your craft version of a Helles. It does remind me a bit of Brewdog Lost, but I prefer Brewdog Lost just where it's a Pilsner. It has a bit more of a bitterness to it, but it does have a nice crisp dryness. It's a little bit watery if I'm honest, but it's 4%. I mean, it's fairly clean tasting. You can tell there's a good water quality to this. It's not got that UK brewed swamp water sort of taste that you get at a lot of lagers. It's just a little bit basic, a little bit simple, and quite a bit watery in the mouthfeel. There's not a lot to it. There's a little bit of like citrus. I think it's lemon and lime towards the end. There's like a sweet, bready kind of malt on the start. It's not overly sweet for a Helles. You know, sometimes that can be an issue for me. It's not massively sweet. Not a lot else. Touch of grapefruit on the end. A very subtle, gentle bitterness. I think that bitterness is coming from a little bit of grapefruit zest or something like that. Do I think it's worth a buy? No, it's not worth the money. I honestly think there's better craft lagers in Aldi that cost like 99p and stuff like that, to be fair. So it's hard to really recommend this. It's like I say, it's not horrible, it's just not much flavour. It's not doing anything different than what any other lager does. In fact, I'm not too keen on it. That finish is getting a bit much as I'm getting further down. It just tastes a bit gimmicky. It tastes like something like it's definitely made for the younger audience. I can imagine a hipster, sort of young guy with a massive beard and all that, you know, being like, oh yes, this is amazing. It's all hazy and beautiful. But yeah, it's not for me, I'm afraid. Far from the worst beer I've ever tried, but it's just disappointingly expensive and disappointingly boring for the expensive price. So it's very difficult to recommend a beer like this. I would go in with, say, a 6 out of 10. Disappointing 6 out of 10. So I even prefer Brewdog Lost, and that's sort of saying something really, isn't it? Because that's so mass produced. This is obviously brewed on a much smaller scale, but you wouldn't really know. Yeah, I'll give it a 6. Let me know if you've tried it, guys, what you give it out of 10. I doubt anybody has, or not many people have tried it, because I don't think nobody else has reviewed it. So that was a good job in that account for the old in-laws. Why hasn't he managed to pick a beer that nobody else has reviewed on YouTube, at least? Anyway, that was quite surprising. That doesn't happen very often. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Smash that like button if you've enjoyed this review. Thanks everybody who joined the live yesterday. It was my first time going live, and it was quite fun actually. It was only supposed to be a little test stream, but I ended up going for a couple of hours, and lots of lovely people come and said hello and asked some questions and that. And there was no negativity or nothing, and I rather enjoyed it. Anyway, till next one, guys. Bye bye, darlings.